A former Newport News police officer is found not guilty on all 4 charges he faced in the death of a man in his home. Dwight Peterson was one of 4 police officers who came to the home of 43-year-old Hank Berry. During the struggle, Sergeant Albin Pearson is accused of fatally shooting Berry in the back. 10 on your side's Chris Horn has the latest on the verdict.
Took the jury about 3 hours to come back with the not guilty verdict on the charge of malicious wounding, as well as another felony and 2 misdemeanors. His attorney said in closing arguments that he had acted in good faith and without malice, and the jury was persuaded. It was late December 2019, and 43-year-old Hank Berry had been making repeated 911 calls. He was trying to get Newport News police to do a welfare check on his son. Officer Dwight Peterson and his supervisor, Sergeant Albin Pearson, came to Berry's condo on Nantucket Place. They wanted to arrest him for a false police report, but got into a struggle with Berry inside his home. Peterson was charged with malicious wounding for tasing Berry.
Dwight Peterson was a good officer, and nothing he did was criminal, and I'm so glad that the jury saw that, so we're very pleased.
It was at that point, according to court documents, that the officer in charge, Sergeant Pearson, shot Berry in the back and through the heart, killing him. An autopsy showed that Berry had no drugs or alcohol in his system at the time of death. Prosecutor Brandon Robleski, called into the case from Suffolk, said in his closing argument, you don't arrest people for calling 911, and the officers shouldn't have been in Berry's house in the first place because they had no warrant.
And we maintain that argument. They had no search warrant, they had no arrest warrant. Again, we do respect the jury's verdict.
Despite today's acquittal, with Peterson cleared on all 4 charges, he's already lost his job as an officer with the Newport News police force. Meanwhile, his superior officer that night, Sergeant Albin Pearson, faces a second-degree murder charge in the case. His trial is set to begin later this year. In Newport News, Chris Horn, 10 on your side.